one of my favorite vignettes in this sequence is the story of the guys who are locked behind doors out of fear. And as we're kind of ending this conversation, I think maybe coming back to that one, I think is helpful, because you may be looking forward into this next season with some fear and trepidation. Maybe I know what it's like to feel stuck, and
definitely.
like kind of locked up and not wanting to make the wrong move, or there being external factors that you're afraid of that keep you from making a move. And so I just think this story might be a good one to end on. Tell us what's going on here in the story of Jesus meeting the disciples behind locked doors right after their fear and confusion in the wake of Jesus' death.
Yeah. Can you imagine just that experience? The person that you are following, loving, caring for, believing in dies, and you're waiting. You're waiting for what's next. You're waiting to see if what he says come true. And you find yourself with your friends locked behind a door, just kind of paralyzed. Because that's what sometimes fear does. And that's what sometimes when we're so overwhelmed about what's to come and not knowing the steps or the plans, we kind of can shut down and freeze. I think that's what the disciples are doing right here. They're kind of frozen. And then all of a sudden, Jesus comes through the wall, the door, it's locked. He appears and says, "Peace be with you." I can imagine the disciples probably like startled and kind of shocked and a bit like, what just happened? Because again, Jesus just walked through a locked door. But his presence, it steadies them, it restores them, and it meets them exactly where they are. And I love that, because he still meets us in those locked places of our own and in that same quiet, steady space. And I really appreciate that in a transition, especially because it can feel very daunting to not kind of know what the next season is going to look like. And Jesus' words that he offers to the disciples are the same words that he offers to us. Peace be with you. And from all the other times of what we've studied in Scripture, of what we know about peace, is that he is the Prince of Peace. He offers us peace because he offers us himself. He offers us his presence to be with us. And that's ultimately what brings peace in the midst of the chaos and the storms of what life brings, which is such an incredibly beautiful thing. I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yeah, and thank you for directing our attention to it. And what I would like to do, kind of as we draw to a close, is to encourage you to look in the Bible reading plan at page 62. So it's the last page of this section, and there's a final reflection and it's an activity that you can do. And I would just encourage you, when you end this video, to pick it up and take a look at it. It offers you an opportunity to look back before this moment, take a look back and do what we've been talking about, kind of take this time to engage your memory, but then also to look forward with anticipation and with hope and expectation. And then there's a prayer. I'm going to ask Katie to pray it for us here in a moment. It's a prayer to carry forward as we kind of end this Bible reading plan. If you are just discovering this, we're going to have the prayer in just a moment. But if you're just discovering this series, you can go back and listen to the first 7 conversations. And also just know that we're going to have a couple bonus episodes for you of a couple things that we want to share that are in addition to what we have shared. So be on the lookout for those coming.